Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Redhead Bee here with a video today. I know I do feel like I'm going to upload more now that we're in lockdown again, which is, I'm not going to lie, it's rubbish, but at least I get to spend a lot of time with animals and doing things which makes me really happy. But I don't know if the certain person that I'm about to do a little shout out to is going to be watching, but like an hour ago or maybe a few minutes ago, I received a Cameo, which is like an app where you can book video messages of celebrities, and one of the people that I've supported for 7 years now, 6 years, I don't actually know, JJ Hamblett from Union J is like one of my favourite people. I'm going to put it out there. He's just always known how to make me smile. He's done so much for me personally, and like he supported my YouTube, my singing, everything, and I just want to give you a massive shout out because you're amazing. I know you said I'm amazing, I'm incredible, but you are. So, and I hope you like this video because this video is going to be like a sort of get to know me tag, because I've done loads of videos about like other celebrities and stuff like that, but I've never really done anything about me, and I thought that I could do something which relates to me and like what I enjoy doing when I'm not at concerts or meeting celebs. So yeah, so this is going to be an animals tag because I'm a very big fan of animals, and yeah, so I'm just going to get started. So the first question, and can I just say these questions are from two of my closest friends, Emily, who's at uni currently, and I miss you a lot, I really do, I miss you, and Fiona, who went to college with me. So I'm just going to do like a little introduction. So basically, I did a 3-year degree at Askham Bryan College at York, and I did a course on animal management. So that was like every single animal possible, like aquatics, reptiles, conservation animals, cats, dogs, birds, you name it, I studied it. So yeah, it was just like a mixture of different animals, and it's what really inspired me to do what I do now. So yeah, so the first question, what's my favourite animal and why? I've sort of got two. So my number one is definitely a rhino. I love rhinos, and I've actually been lucky enough for like trips I've been on to actually get up close and personal with a rhino, which was absolutely amazing, something I'll never ever forget in my whole life. We got to like touch the rhino. Obviously it was behind a bar. We went behind the scenes at Flamingo Land, and we got to like touch the rhino, and there's so many photos of me, you can just see how happy I am from the photos, and it's just amazing. But I'm also, if you can't tell from the sweatshirt, I'm a massive fan of polar bears, and at Yorkshire Wildlife Park, where I go like every holiday or just whenever I can, I've actually seen a polar bear, well, 4 polar bears. Sadly Victor passed away, which is really sad because he was like the first ever polar bear to come to Doncaster. So yeah, but I love polar bears, and I just think they're absolutely amazing, and I think a lot more needs to be done for polar bears. Like, I feel like we need to do a lot more for them so that they have more chance of survival and more chance of being like conserved and just looked after more. So yeah. Question 2. How many pets do you have? So I have 3 pets. I'm just seeing if there's another question, like what do I have? Let me just... I don't think there is. No. So I've got a Syrian hamster called Chip. He's my absolute world. Like, he's my baby, he's my child, he's my son. I love him. He's just so cheeky. I think because I've had 3 other Syrian hamsters in the past, and when the one I had before Chip died, I was like really upset, and it affected me really badly because like I didn't have a pet anymore, and I just felt really lonely, and it was awful. Just like looking at an empty cage, it was horrendous. So I got another hamster, and he was just brilliant, and he is brilliant, and I love him. And then I have 2 guinea pigs as well. So I've got Willow, who I adopted, and then I've got Archie, who's only a little baby. He's so sweet. They're both amazing. Like, I love my pets a lot. I really do. So number 4, what's your experience? Oh no, not number 4, number 3, sorry. What pets would you recommend? Oh, I think it's quite hard to like recommend a pet, because obviously I don't know what my audience would like, because certain pets fit well with certain people. Like, so many people might be a cat lover, a dog lover, reptile lover, birds, anything. So I think it depends on the person, like what type of animal you should get as a pet, because some you think will be easy, they're really not, and it's a lot of responsibility to look after a pet. It really is, and I've got 3. So yeah, it depends on the person really. Number 4, what's your experience like of rescuing pets and animals? Well, I have rescued quite a few, like injured birds. Basically there was an injured bird in my garden, and because I've got quite a bit of experience with animals, not so much birds, I do feel like I need to build up my knowledge and understanding of birds. I feel like, well, there was an injured bird in the garden, and we had gloves, and I just picked it up and like moved it so it wouldn't get hurt, not hurt, killed probably, yeah. And then I rescued a pigeon, and I've also rescued a baby bat as well. Don't know what happened to the bat, so that'll be quite cool to find out what happened. And I do work at like a rescue centre for exotic animals, and I have gone along to like rescue some animals from different circumstances. So we did go to Doncaster, I think 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, and no, it was 2 years ago, and we rescued loads of snakes, and they were all absolutely lovely animals, really, really nice. So yeah, and then they moved on to be rehomed, and yeah, it's lovely. So I don't really have a lot of experience with rescuing animals, but I did rescue Willow, because basically the first lockdown because I work at the rescue, I asked the owner, did he need any of the like furry animals which would need like constant care every single day, bringing like in a way sort of fostering them. And he said one of the guinea pigs was a bit lonely, so it might need just a home to go to. So I said I'll take it, and I asked my mum and dad, and then he came with the cage, and I didn't expect to bond as much as I did with him, and I held him every day, I'd give him food, I'd look after him, and then I adopted him, and yeah, I love him a lot. Is there animal you don't have but you want as a pet? Yes. I know it would never ever happen in a million years, but I'd love like a pet snake. I don't know why. I mean I do, because they're so interesting animals. They're absolutely amazing. They're just different to like a bog standard cat or a dog. Like they're so cool, and yeah, I've got a lot of experience with reptiles, snakes, and I absolutely love them. I think I'd probably go for a royal python rather than a corn snake. I love corns, but they are known to be quite nippy, they're very fast, and royal pythons are a lot more docile, and yeah, so I'd definitely get a royal python. If I could, because we're at the rescue, there was a baby royal python which I bonded with really well, called Harley, and she got sent to a new home, and I loved her. She was amazing. She was my favourite. So yeah. Question 6. Where did your love of animals come from? I don't really know. Yeah, that's a hard one. I think, well, I can't remember this because I was only small, but when I was about 3 or 4, we went on holiday to Mallorca with my grandma, granddad, mum, dad, and my sister, and we went to this zoo, and I don't really remember a lot of it because I was very little, and we went to a zoo and saw loads of animals, and then I told people I wanted to be a zookeeper, and yeah, the rest is history. Number 7. What's the best advice you have for people considering getting a pet? I think what people need to consider is you need to do a lot of research, even if you think you know a lot about a certain animal, because it's like with dogs, there's loads of different breeds. They all have loads of different personalities. They all suit, like some would suit a family, some would suit a couple, some would suit like just a lonely person with like no kids. Just yeah. Definitely do a lot of research. Like there's so much out there. You can get books as well. They're really helpful, like going to libraries, books, reading up on websites. Just ask a lot of questions, like if you get an animal from a breeder or like a rescue centre, for example, just ask loads and loads of questions, because people are going to know, like the people that have bred them or looked after them for a while, they know a lot about that animal. Like when people come to the rescue, and because I've worked with some of the animals now there for years, I know a lot about their personality. I know like all information about them, and if people ask me, I can be like offering advice in my own special way, which has helped quite a few people. So yeah. I've sort of answered the next question, because I didn't really remember that I'd had this question in. So what pets do you have and what are their names? So I have 2 guinea pigs. I've got an Abyssinian, which is basically like, he's my lion. He looks like a lion. He's called Willow. And then I've got a baby teddy, and he's called Archie, and a Syrian hamster called Chip. So yeah. Number 9, what's your best, coolest animal fact? I think the coolest animal fact I know or have learnt from doing my course, and then because we did a presentation at the very start of the year, and it was you had to pick 2 animals, and I chose a meerkat and polar bear. And I think my favourite animal fact about, well, I'm going to do the ones about the 2 that people might not know, so you can learn. So my favourite fact about the polar bear is that the polar bear's skin is actually black, it's not white. The Latin name for polar bear is Ursus maritimus, and that basically means sea bear. Sea bear? Yeah. I got a bit confused then. And my favourite fact about the meerkat is that meerkats have like this dark line over their eyes, like, so they have their eye and then they have like a black ring almost around it, and that acts as sunglasses for the meerkat, so they can like see a lot better, because obviously where they're from in the wild, in the desert, it's really hot, there's a lot of sun, so yeah. Number 10, what's your favourite memory or favourite experience with your pets? Well, when I got my new guinea pig, I had to bond him and Willow together, and that takes a lot of patience, and like, it went really well. Like, they get on so well now, and it's just nice seeing Willow with like another guinea pig, because I always felt sorry for him being on his own, and I always wanted another guinea pig, and then I got Archie for my birthday, and yeah, it's really nice seeing them together. So number 11 was, when did you first start working with animals? I think, okay, so we had in school, in secondary school, we had this like animal person come in to our science class in year 8, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was year 8, and she brought in like spiders, snakes, lizards, rats, and I remember every single girl in my class being like, I don't want to touch it, I don't want to touch it, when she was bringing around the snake. And I was quite quiet. I know that's hard to believe now. I was quite quiet in school, but I don't know, because like, animals for me, they were like a calming mechanism almost, and when the snake came round to me, I was the only girl in my class to hold it, and everyone was like really surprised. They were like, how could you do that? And I was like, just did it. And yeah, I think that's where I got my love for snakes, and like, I always found them really interesting. So I first started working with animals in, what year would it have been? I think it was 2017, so like, I believe it was January after Christmas holidays, because we had 6 weeks of like theory, and then we started doing the practicals, and yeah, so that was where we got like, because at college we had an animal unit, which we now got a wildlife park, and you just got really hands-on with every single animal, and yeah. And then I started the rescue, working at the rescue because the owner came to Brownies where I volunteer, and I mentioned how I was asking Brian, and he said he's had quite a few people do work experience for him who were asking Brian, and because I told him that I got offered work experience, he had a new snake which he hadn't taken anywhere before, so he wasn't going to let any of the girls handle it, but because I had a bit of experience with animals, he let me hold it, and it was amazing. I was like in awe. And I remember that was the very first day I met Bruce, the Burmese python, who is 10 feet long, or is he 12? I can't remember, but I remember my mum being really scared, and I was like, and I remember the girls got asked which leader should hold it, and so many people said me, and he was absolutely incredible. And I still work with Bruce today, which is lovely, because he was like the very first big snake I ever dealt with, and he's just incredible. I absolutely adore him. Number 12, do you have a favourite animal that you've worked with? Yeah, I do. So I think for me, my favourite animal at the rescue that I ever worked with was Clyde the raccoon. He was absolutely amazing. He was lovely. He was basically like a dog because he was really calm. You could stroke him, sit with him, hand feed him. He was amazing, and yeah, he was lovely. But my favourite snake that I ever worked with, like personally me, was Bindi, the baby Burmese python. So she was, some days she was fine, but when she was in shed, she was quite aggressive. And I said to Dan, I want to work with her, and like, because he said that she hardly had any handling, so I said I want to handle her every time I go into the centre, other than when she was in shed, of course, because I didn't want to get bitten. So I basically worked with her for weeks, and she got a home, and it was really sad because I loved her a lot. I really bonded with her as well. Like, I remember I got told by the owner that whenever you went to touch her, she would hiss, and then he said, don't be alarmed by that because she will not bite you, just touch her, she'll hiss, and then just pick her up. And I did exactly what he said. She never bit me. She was a really, really nice snake, and I always used to handle her every single time, and she was brilliant. And I just wasn't scared of her at all. I never was scared of any of the snakes. Question 13. Are there any moments that made you feel really achieved or accomplished? I think for me it was getting my degree, because I worked so hard. I passed my personal research project. It's a lot of hard work and you get a sense of achievement. And then when we got the shop for the rescue centre, and I remember a member of the public said to, well, the owner wasn't there, it was someone else in, and they said, look, this person, Lucy's been really helpful. She's had all the answers we needed, she's let us handle the animals. And then I got a special, like, recommendation almost, and then Dan was like, well done, during the weekend you were brilliant. And it does make you feel good about yourself, having praise. Question 14. Have you ever gotten into a dangerous situation? Yes, I have. Well, it wasn't really dangerous. Like, it was more my fault than anything. So, at the rescue, we have the ground floor and then we have upstairs. And upstairs is where the more animals that are either ill or they need a bit more handling to be able to get them to be able to be rehomed. So we were sorting out one of the boa constrictors, and I'm not scared of snakes, but the only snakes I'm a bit cautious around are boas. I don't really trust them that much. And basically everyone else was free handling this boa, and I thought, I want to do it because everyone else has, I haven't. So I did it, and I free handled boas before and never had an issue. But this particular boa, he had like a cut on his body, like under his body, and which we always used to have to put iodine on and things like that. And I was handling him, and the next thing I know, I felt something on my arm, but it didn't feel painful. So I was like, what's that? I looked down at my arm and all I could see was the snake's head, like that, like biting me. And I was like, what the hell do I do? Luckily I had a jumper like this on, so the fangs didn't really go into my skin, and like it was just a tag, because some snakes can just tag, so they'll bite you then they'll just let go. Other snakes can bite and not let go, so I was like, what if it doesn't let go? We had customers downstairs, the owner was downstairs, so I didn't know what to do. But luckily I had 2 other people in the room with me who were cleaning and I was handling, so I was like, oh, it's fine. I was really calm, which was, I think, if I would have panicked, then I wouldn't have been okay, but because I was so calm and collected, it was alright. Like, the situation wasn't so bad. And yeah, it was quite interesting though, because I always got told that snake bites don't hurt, and I never believed anyone, and then it happened to me and I was like, actually, that wasn't so bad. And I just remember saying to the girls, ow, and they all looked at me and were like, what, why did you say ow? And then I went, Sirius has just bitten me. And yeah, I rolled up my sleeve and I had a pretty impressive bite mark. I was bleeding, but it was like spots. It was basically like when you get an injection and like a bit of blood spots up, or like if you cut your finger. It wasn't anything major. So we had this special roll which we used to clean out the tanks, and I just wrapped my arm around the roll around my arm, and I just carried on working. And then I think one of the other students heard this commotion, came upstairs and said, what's wrong? No, they were next door. And we said to them, look, don't go shout about it to Dan, because there's customers downstairs and we don't want them to hear that one of the students has been bitten. So he went down and just said, look, Dan, Lucy's been bitten, she's absolutely fine. We just thought we'd let you know. And then that was the last job that we had to do upstairs, so they told me to go downstairs just to say to Dan, look, I'm absolutely fine. I went downstairs, he saw me and was like, are you okay? I went, I'm fine, yeah, no big deal. And yeah, that's only the really like dangerous situation. So number 15, what would a day look like when you're working with animals? So at the rescue, we usually do cleaning first, we have lunch, finish any cleaning jobs that we didn't get done in the morning, fill up water bowls, clean out, and then defrost the food because we have a lot of food, chop up any fresh vegetables for the lizards, rats, whatever we have in, handle animals if possible, and then feed, and then because they're reptiles they need spraying with water to help cool them down. So yeah, and then at home it's pretty much the same: clean, feed, give fresh water, handle. Yeah, that's really it. Question 16. Have you got future ambitions to work with animals? Yeah, I have. I would love to work with animals in the future. I just think, like, it would be absolutely amazing because I've done, for my 21st, I did a shadow a ranger experience at Yorkshire Wildlife Park where it wasn't so much the bigger animals, it was more like monkeys, armadillos, meerkats, lemurs, and it was just really fun. And I've always wanted to be a zookeeper ever since I was a little kid to now, and that'd just be the dream. It really would. One day I will get there, one day. Question 17. Is working with animals team orientated or independent? So at the rescue we always say we get a lot more jobs done when we all work together. Sometimes you get people who aren't the best at working in a team, let's just say, and they leave you to do all the jobs, and yeah, so it is a lot better to work in a team because for example, when I got bitten, because there was other people there, they quickly like picked Sirius up, put him away, and checked on me to make sure I was okay. And yeah, we all look out for each other. At times it can be really stressful, like we can have stuff happen to the animals, and yeah, it's not nice sometimes, but because we work with a team, it's a lot easier. So yeah. And finally, the last question: did you always want to work with animals? Yes, always. Love animals, and yeah. So anyway, that was my animals tag. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more videos like this where it's just about me, then comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell to be notified every time I post, and yeah. So thank you all for watching. I'm sure I'll see you all very soon. This is Redhead Boo signing off. Bye!